Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wretched Wrestling Podcast.
Woo! That's a baby doll.
We are back,
I
guys.
did Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes at the same time. Dusty Flair.
We have a lot to talk about, man.
We sound excited.
We have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to discuss.
I'm exhausted. I've been up since 6 in the morning, and I
A lot to talk about, man.
it always throws me off hearing myself talk. I'm like, all right, I have to sound.
And we're on delay and stuff,
Yeah.
like a 5-second delay, so it sounds weird.
So this would be great.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, we're back. So we're gonna go live.
there and everywhere.
We're not gonna do too much pre-show stuff here today. We're gonna just go right into the show.
Let's just go right into it, shall we?
Let's just go right into it.
Hell yeah. Don't hinder me.
Yeah. I choose not to hinder.
Do you? You seem to hinder me a lot.
I choose not to hinder Jinder.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right then.
All right, guys.
I'm going to give us a little bit of a heart emoji because I'm hearting this episode.
You're more like you're hearting this episode.
Oh, get it? Because dicks.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start this shite.
Let's start that shit.
Do it.
All right, guys. We're gonna go live with the 43rd edition of the Wretched Wrestling Podcast.
The 43rd.
Whenever my computer decides that it's okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wretched Wrestling Podcast, episode 43, motherfuckers. We're back.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. So we took a 1-week hiatus so Fred could recoup from tax season and general plaguiness.
Yeah. This was the time I was sick this time.
Fred was sick. It's usually my fault when we don't have the podcast because I'm the parent who never has a free moment, and I always get sick because he's a toddler.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. But this time it was Fred. Fred got a little sick, but we're back here ready to talk about the WWE landscape.
That's right, the landscape is going up and down, baby doll. Sapphire, you know what I'm saying? So I was hanging around some toddlers too, that's why I got sick. I'm not gonna go there. Nope. I don't have kids.
All right,
so...
Uncle Paul.
Nope, what?
What? So, 2 weeks ago, we had the WWE Superstar Shakeup, which ended up not being a draft, which I was very happy about because I hate drafts. I like drafts, but I don't like how WWE does their drafts, usually. So I was happy that this was just kind of like a randomized, trades, but they didn't announce what the trades were for. People just showed up on their shows, so...
Makes it a little exciting, you know? Shakes it up, obviously.
People showed up on Raw who were moved to Raw. People showed up on SmackDown who were moved to SmackDown. So we've got a lot of clarification as to what's happening there, but there's still a lot of confusion with Payback coming up, being a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, yet it has SmackDown wrestlers appearing on feuds that are very intertwined and confusing. But we'll get all in that shit, yo.
It's a stupid version of Survivor Series.
It really is.
Or something like that.
It really is.
Summer shit, you know? Just dumb shit like that. It's weird. It's really weird. So
it's very weird.
Let's just jump into we're going to go through the list of who moved and who didn't, and,
what we think about it. So
we're thinking.
We're going to go back. I know we're touching on stuff that's over a week old now, but we need to discuss our reaction.
As long as they shower, it's okay if it's a week old.
Yeah, right. What?
So the first one will go down.
All right, so we'll talk about that. Ooh, a little hot in here.
Where's that cane who pulled me by the neck at the Apollo Theater? Get the fuck off the stage!
Oh man.
Anyway,
play me off, Johnny. Anyway. So last week on Monday Night Raw from the new Nassau Coliseum, we had the Raw portion of the Superstar Shakeup. So before Raw went live, they announced that Apollo Crews was being drafted or traded to Raw from SmackDown.
That's the first one, and you got to know that shit is going down when Apollo Crews is going to Raw, baby.
Sure.
I was like, whoa, I have to watch this.
This is a bit I don't really know what this one kind of didn't make sense with me because Apollo Crews has a lot of talent. We all know that.
We all know.
But at the same time, him being on SmackDown should have been his opportunity to, like, you know, they call SmackDown the land of opportunity. Yet, he literally has done nothing on SmackDown. He was in a couple, like,
I haven't seen him forever.
Like Intercontinental title, like #1 contender matches with like 6 men in them. But like other than that, he's just pretty much done nothing on SmackDown. So I was surprised that SmackDown did nothing with him. I'm even more surprised that they're moving him to Raw now. You know, I'm under the impression that Raw and SmackDown have different writers. So maybe the writers on Raw feel like they can work him in somewhere. I just don't see where he's going to fit in on the Raw landscape, which is so packed.
I know. They already did something on Monday where they he kind of was talking to Titus O'Neil. You know, they looked exactly the same. So I was like trying to find, you know, I messed that one up. The only thing I could tell was one was wearing a shirt and one was wearing a suit. So I was like, that helped me out a little bit.
So I guess that's his first feud going in, which is okay. So
momentum is building for Apollo Crews when you got a Titus O'Neil feud.
I guess he's got something. I mean, it's better than what he had on SmackDown, which was nothing. So that's good for him. The second and third pick going to Raw was Miz and Maurice, which was exactly what I said was going to happen.
Quiet on the set.
So
I came to play.
I mean, I think I predicted this one. I said maybe the secondary titles would be switching shows because you can't really. I mean, they could move the world title, but we'll get into that later. But you know, you can't move the tag titles because they're literally branded Raw tag titles and SmackDown tag titles. You can't move the women's titles, Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion. So the only titles you can really move are the world titles and the secondary titles. Didn't really see the world title happening. I still don't. So this makes a lot of sense.
SmackDown? No way I could see that happening.
The only thing I know, Fred, you didn't really like this. I know you didn't really want him to move from Raw to SmackDown to Raw, but I thought this was. I kind of thought this was coming because he kind of really reinvented himself on SmackDown. So they're putting him back on the prominent show. I think it's going to work out for him for the most part. I don't think he's going to get a world title picture anytime soon now, which I thought...
It'd be like upper mid-card.
Yeah, which is good for him. I mean,
right below. Because it's not like he's going to fight Brock or any of those people, you know?
Right.
I was just afraid like The Miz was going to be overcasted by like the amount of talent that's on Raw.
Right.
Like SmackDown was his niche because... not that there wasn't a great deal of talent, but there was like young guys. He kind of he reinvented himself on SmackDown. He was doing great. I hope that he stays in the mix in some sort of way. I guess we'll get to the next person because that's who he's beginning to feud with this past Raw. But over the last 2 weeks,
Dean Ambrose made his debut on Raw as well.
Yeah,
and they kind of already have clashed again. Which is kind of interesting because they already feuded on SmackDown, so this isn't really.
That's true.
This isn't really
old ground.
This isn't really refreshing what they're doing, and
no.
And honestly, like I think I also said Dean Ambrose was going to go to Raw because I said they were going to get all 3 Shield members on the same show. So I did pretty good on my predictions for this. Superstar Shakeup. Dean Ambrose is just not doing it for me, man. And this past week on Raw...
You didn't like the Miz TV segment with him?
Well, I was going to say that was a step in the right direction. I'm wondering if maybe the writers on Raw have more motivation to make Dean Ambrose a better character because he actually cut a good promo this week on Raw.
I've never met seen
I've never met him either.
I met Zack Ryder.
I did.
You did too.
I did too.
I never seen a wrestler I've hated and loved so much in quick successions in my entire life.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Never, ever in my life have I hated somebody one week and enjoyed them the next week. Ever.
Yeah, it's really confusing. I don't know which Dean Ambrose I'm getting every week. The first week, I hated him because he was making fun of The Miz. He was just kind of joking, and then he was just like, "Oh, well, you know what I think of you, Miz?" Like, because he thought he was John Cena.
Like, it's so funny,
so goofy. And then this week, you know, Miz calls him lazy and complacent, and
which he is.
And then you know, then he comes back and he goes like, "I don't give a damn what the fuck you think about me." And then he cut a really good promo. Which one are you, Dean?
Which one are you?
Commit to one.
That's the problem.
Be the angry, crazy guy, or be goofy all the time, and I'll hate you. But pick one.
Pick one. Don't make me Don't make me like actually have to decide whether I like you or not. It should be
the Boston Bruins just won.
Oh shit! Okay, overtime,
double overtime.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, the Wretched Hockey podcast. Well, at first when I watched Raw this past week, I was like, I'm like, wow, Dean Ambrose seems really rejuvenated. Like, he's like really pumped up and everything like that. And then I realized he was in his home state, and that's the only reason why he was pumped up.
Right.
So I'm still going with the theory that I hate Dean Ambrose. I'm more leaning to that way because I think on next week's Raw, he's probably going to take a shit again.
Okay, definitely. I definitely agree. So let's go back to the Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah, there's a lot of moves here.
Yeah, Kurt Hawkins went to Raw. I mean, this is going to benefit nobody, really. It's just a new enhancement talent at this point.
Doesn't matter.
He's already jobbed out to Big Show and Finn Balor in his 2 weeks on Raw.
Next.
Next. Bray Wyatt. This one was out of nowhere.
That was a big one. That was a big one.
Now, this one has weird implications as well.
Yeah.
Because... this is just like, it's so convoluted. So, Brock Lesnar is our WWE Universal Champion.
Right.
Would you know that? Because he hasn't been on TV since he won the title.
Fucking knew that was going to happen.
Right. I'm so happy we have these part-timers with the world titles. So
at least Orton, fucking as boring as he is.
He's there every week.
At least he's there every week.
He's there.
I'll take a champion that's there every week.
Yes.
You know, like... I don't give a shit, but, like, come on, dude, like...
So this throws, like, a whole wrinkle, because they had already announced that they were going to do this House of Horrors match before this
Yes.
shakeup. And now he's on Raw. So what's the title situation here? If Bray Wyatt wins the title, is he taking the title to Raw? All this does is make this match completely predictable.
Nah,
because they
he's
haven't
not
even.
Gonna win. He can't
he's
win.
not going to win. He's not going to win because number one.
Well, yeah, you say it.
Yeah, because they're not going to have him win the title and go to Raw. That's not happening. Okay, there's not going to have no SmackDown title on Raw. Like, no, we just lost both world titles. There's 2 world titles on Raw, none on SmackDown. So that's not happening.
Let's make a global championship.
But like, it's so stupid because, okay, Randy Orton's going to be wrestling at a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, and he's defending the SmackDown title to a guy he's not going to lose it to. So why are they even calling this a Raw exclusive pay-per-view at this point when it's not? And it's not the only match that has the same implications, but the other one has like a different feel to it. I'm
not really even calling this like...
It doesn't make sense.
I'm not calling it a Raw. I know they're calling it a Raw exclusive one. I'm not making it... In my mind, I'm not calling it a Raw exclusive pay-per-view.
Okay, well, you don't run the company. They do.
I know, but it makes me feel better inside.
Okay.
So I don't have to fucking rant about it.
All right.
So I'm just...
I like to point out things that don't make sense. That's what I do.
No, but it doesesn't make sense. You're right. I mean, they should have just cut the program off at that point.
So stupid.
I mean, when was this? Like a week later was the shakeup, or 2 weeks later after WrestleMania? They really didn't have to like go further into this feud. They really...
Right.
The payoff, I guess...
They could have done this on the last SmackDown.
What payoff is going to happen?
Nothing.
Like,
Nothing.
What is going to... Bray Wyatt made this match. He's going to lose it.
Yeah.
And then, which we don't even know what the fuck it is,
right,
honestly.
what the hell is a House of Horrors match? They've been really pumping it up. He said fire like 5 times, so I think we might get a fire spot
like an
somewhere.
Inferno match?
Yeah, like an Inferno match, or fucking maybe somebody goes through a flaming table.
I guess.
I guess. I'm sure the match will be good. I'm sure it'll be entertaining, but at the same time, the storylines are so fucking stupid. Oh, Jen has joined us on the podcast and gave us the roll her eyes emoji. Thanks, Jen.
Don't roll your eyes at me, motherfucker.
I mean, so the Bray Wyatt going to Raw, while it's good for his character, the fact that he's still feuding with Randy Orton on SmackDown is just, it's mind-bogglingly stupid. It's so stupid.
It's just like, like what the fuck? Like, Bray Wyatt, oh man, his I so don't care about him anymore. Like, I try to because I like him as a character and he's a good wrestler, but I say this like all the time, Craig. He's supposed to be a fucking leader of a cult,
right?
But he doesn't have a cult anymore. Right. So he's just this idiot that fucking appears on the screen and goes, "Oh yeah, those maggots are gonna eat you alive," or some shit like that. And I just fast forward every time because it's all nonsense.
I know, me too.
Like, he doesn't even have. Oh man, I don't know. Like, so anyway, it's. I'm okay with the change, honestly. Okay. Just get him away from Randy Orton. That's it. That's a total buzzkill.
Right. So Kalisto also went to Raw. He hasn't done anything yet. It makes sense. I said this a long time ago when they first
did. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. That he just needs to go to the cruiserweight division. He got his ass kicked by Braun Strowman this past week. It'll take him a while to establish himself.
It'll be good for 205 Live.
Yeah, it'll be good for 205 Live and that stuff.
In the cruiserweight division.
Raw in the cruiserweight division's kind of got like their top feud right now, so he'll get his turn. It's just not right now.
It'll be great to see him.
This
against,
one's
really
kind of like why'd they even bother? Heath Slater and Rhino as a tag team are going. So
there's so many tag teams already on Raw. Man.
I know.
I just feel like having them.
They literally are replacing the Shining Stars who left Raw to be like another jobber tag team. You have Golden Truth, and now you have Heath Slater and Rhino. Because they're not going to win on Raw. They're not going to win anything on Raw. They're going to lose. The Raw tag title division is so stacked.
And this was before Dash Dawson,
right.
What's his name? I'm sorry. Broke his jaw, and they said he's going to be out for at least 2 months.
Right.
So this wasn't even like a replacement for the Revival. This was clearly just
switching it up
for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm really indifferent to it. I think it's just maybe a good change of pace. Like I said, like the storyline run its course a long time ago. So
very
I don't really have much of a. Oh, my aunt is on. Hey, what's up? I can't say anything really vulgar. Kidding.
The next one I did like this move. Alexa Bliss goes to Raw. She really,
I was really unexpected.
Yeah,
I feel like
I had a feeling it could happen because I thought they were going to switch up the women a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's a great move. And then of course this past week on Raw, she won the #1 contenders match for the Raw Women's title. So she's going to go right into a feud with Bayley, which will be a good match. Definitely be a good program. I can't
step up her game.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Alexa. She is really like taking steps forward as a performer. She's very good. She's got a very good character, very believable, like in her little bitch, like short bitch thing that she does. Like that's basically her, like 5 foot.
She's really good at being a bitch.
5 foot to Fury or something like that.
Yeah, she's really good at it.
She's a good character.
She grows on me every week, honestly. Like, she's starting to prove herself. And everything.
And the crowd's starting to like her too, even though she's a heel, which is always a good sign that you're doing something right.
I like how they actually there was a 4-way match and it was a lone match.
It was a good match. It was a good match. Minus everything Nia Jax did. There was a few moments early in the match when Nia Jax literally botched everything.
Botched?
Botched, Fred.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No, I think she did it on purpose.
Oh, she did it on purpose because she's that good.
Yeah,
she's like Owen Hart. She was botching on purpose to make the boys laugh in the back, right?
Yeah, she's trying to make all the girls laugh and they'll be like, hee.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
That's totally what happened.
Yeah. Hey, Nia. Yeah, I'm fucking pissed because she was supposed to win that match, and Alexa Jizz fucking beat her, and...
I thought you said your aunt was watching.
Yeah, she might be, I don't know. And, and...
Alright, Mickie James also went to Raw. I was a little surprised about this one. I thought she would be better suited for SmackDown. She's just like reestablishing herself in front of the crowd. She's not really getting much of a reaction right now, which I'm surprised about because she got such a positive reaction at NXT TakeOver Toronto, I believe it was.
Yeah, but that was like months ago.
Yeah, it was months ago.
Like things change like so quickly sometimes.
I know.
I think it was more of the surprise factor that she came back. I never expected her to be in the WWE ring again. So
right.
Let's talk about the best move that ever happened.
The trade of the day was...
The trade of the day!
SmackDown and Raw made announcer trades of Byron Saxton going to SmackDown and David Otunga going to Raw.
Wow. Now, I was floored.
Well, I was happy.
I was so bored at the trade.
I was happy, and I was also pissed off because I hate Byron Saxton. I think he's terrible. And I'm not a big fan of David Otunga as well. He's kind of annoying, but... I was like, I'm happy because I don't 3 hours of listening to Byron Saxton talk is it's a lot to get through. But then I'm like, now he's going to SmackDown, the show I actually like, so he's going to ruin that show now instead.
No, but the only thing was that Corey Graves was always the saving grace because he would constantly make fun of Byron and how lame and cheesy he was. And now he's not gonna. He's gonna be with JBL and Todd Phillips.
This is
so
also
that's gonna be the most
something.
boring cast.
This doesn't have Elias Sampson made his Raw debut as well.
The Drifter.
But I'm
more like sleeping.
I'm so happy he's on the same show as Corey Graves though because Corey Graves is he's a really good he's a phenomenal. He's like the
Bobby the Brain Heenan of the modern era.
But I like that he hates some heels and he likes some faces.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
love that,
he likes Finn Balor. He hates Enzo Cass. Okay, fine.
Okay, we get it.
But hates Elias Sampson. Like, I
With
love
a passion.
the feud between him and Elias Sampson, so
From,
I'm
like,
happy
NXT.
that we're going to get more of that. That's all I care about. Jericho put Elias Sampson on his list this past week.
That's right, yeah.
Because he, like, walked through his promo for his thing. Like,
Deservingly so.
so this is like... So, I mean, Raw did pretty good. I actually think SmackDown did better, so let's talk about the SmackDown portion of it.
Yeah, let's go into that one.
So SmackDown got
Let's say that one last.
Do that one last? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Let's go with the good stuff first.
When SmackDown actually went live, the first one to go to SmackDown was Kevin Owens, United States champion. So they switched both titles on the shows,
Which kind of seemed like that was going to happen. I mean, obviously, if Dean's going to be on there, you knew Kevin Owens was going to be going. You know?
Then, and they also announced that Kevin Owens would still be defending his United States title against Chris Jericho at Payback, with the caveat that if whoever wins the match,
fishy word.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I studied my vocabs. Whoever wins the match at Payback will be the SmackDown will move the SmackDown. So if Kevin Owens retains, he'll stay on SmackDown. If Chris Jericho wins, he'll move to SmackDown.
That's an interesting.
Owens will stay to Raw.
That's an interesting one because I would love for them to be on both on the same show.
Well, that's right. Isn't that interesting? But they didn't offer the same caveat for the Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt match, which has the same fucking thing, where it's two guys on different shows facing for a title. So it's like they're giving us the say like, oh, Jericho could win and go to SmackDown, like so that the titles are even. But the other one, they're just like, no, Randy Orton's winning. But giving us no hope that Bray Wyatt's winning. Like, they're not giving us that same stipulation.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I know.
And so now we have two matches on Payback that are already very stupid with the roster construction.
But so if Jericho gets his payback at Payback, then why does he want to move to SmackDown?
Right.
Like, then the feud's over. You got your payback.
Right.
Then you can just move on to the next thing, you know? Like, you don't have
Even
to...
if he loses,
you
he can still move on. It'd be great. He doesn't have to see him either way.
Exactly. You can feud
It doesn't
with,
matter.
Like, you know,
it doesn't
the
matter.
Miz or something, you know?
It's so stupid.
That'd be a cool feud, actually.
I like... but Kevin Owens... I think Kevin Owens will retain the title, so I think he'll stay on SmackDown.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think that's a good move for him, because Raw just got an injection of a lot of main eventers. Finn Balor just came back. Bray Wyatt just went to Raw. In the Raw, there's so many heels on Raw. You have,
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, and we don't even know what Brock Lesnar is going to be. Brock Lesnar could be a heel one month, could be a face the next month.
You got Seth Rollins, you got Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman.
Now Dean Ambrose is back. The Miz.
So it's stacked.
It's stacked. So it's good to get, because Kevin Owens should be like a main event player. So him going to SmackDown, it'll keep everybody it'll keep him higher on the card. So it was a good move in the end.
And he just started this new gimmick where he's like Canadian, but he's the face of America because he won the United States Championship.
Yeah,
which is so stupid, but he's so funny at doing
He'll
it
make
that
it work.
He makes it work.
Yeah, like I didn't like it. Like
I kind of did though a little bit.
I didn't like it too much, but like I already know it's Kevin Owens. He'll make it work, so I'm not worried about it right now. Like I know it's kind of stupid now, but it's like the list of Jericho. Like it was so stupid when he first started doing it, and then like 2 weeks later, we're like, this is the greatest thing in wrestling right now. So I'm sure Kevin Owens.
The list of Jericho after the gift of Jericho. I'm like, this is kind of dumb.
This is kind of dumb.
And then it became more over than that.
Drink it in, man. So
that was awesome.
Yeah, so Kevin will make it work. Sami Zayn also goes to SmackDown, which is
that was very predictable.
That was predictable, and I'm happy for him because he's already been in 2 number 1 contender matches in his 2 weeks on SmackDown. He lost both of them, but he's higher on the card and he's getting these opportunities.
It's a perfect show for him to be on because that way he can get the main events,
right?
And it just enhances his. That's why like the Miz was good for SmackDown because he didn't get these opportunities to main event shows, and now Sami Zayn gets this chance. And like I didn't watch it from 2 weeks ago, but I watched the AJ Styles Sami Zayn versus Corbin match. I was like, wow, this was a fucking great main event, man. Like, what a fucking match that was. I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
So, good for them.
The Shining Stars also go to SmackDown. They attacked somebody after them. They attacked American Alpha after American Alpha lost their title opportunity.
Don't care.
I noticed that they're not calling them the Shining Stars anymore. Now they're just calling them Primo and Epico Cologne, which is okay, fine. The Shining Stars is a terrible name. if you ask me.
So is Primo and Epico.
Well, I mean, that's their names, so I'm okay with... I'd rather them have no fucking name. I mean, they were tag team champions, like, back in 2011, when they were just Primo and Epico, so I'm okay. So I'm okay with them going back to that, and they let them beat American Alpha last week on SmackDown, so... They're trying to build them up. I feel like we always harp on them, but like they are talented. Like Primo's a very good wrestler, and Epico is good in his own right. Like
they just got a shitty gimmick.
Yeah, and I for the most part, I think they dropped the stupid like timeshare part of it, and they dropped the Shining Stars name. The fact that they're calling them the Colognes now, they kept calling them the
Colons.
Yeah, the Colons.
I'm referring to them as the Colons from now on.
So that's good.
The Shining Colons.
The next one, which was just totally off the wall, was
off the chain.
Was Shane? I like how Shane McMahon kind of like prefaced this too. He's like, it's a former, women's like a second generation women's wrestler.
Oh, they used to say champion. I'm like, really? She was a champion?
Yeah, no, she wasn't. But he really like everybody's going woo, and the crowd was like, it's Charlotte, yeah, she's coming to SmackDown, and it was fucking Tamina. She was so off of it. She was never even drafted in the original draft last year.
Right.
So she was just
injured, or
she was injured, and they just had nothing for her for a while. So
because after the Team Bad stuff, she kind of just went into the
exactly.
She's always like the bodyguard. She reminds me of like Diesel from like '94 when he was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel, Craig. I'm not joking around. I am a Tamina fan.
Yeah,
I think that when she is,
I need to see more because I just don't know.
Anytime I saw her wrestle, like even if she was like in the outside, and the woman would be on the outside, she like did the frog, the splash. She'd do like a super kick that just looked fucking nasty as hell. Like
right.
I don't know. Like I just think that she's got more to offer than they're letting her. So I don't know. Hopefully that'll lead to something for her. I hope so. She's like a very like. She's like a sleeper almost, like kind of like in a.
No, I agree. No, it'll be good for her. I mean, now she's on a roster now. She was not on a roster for a while, so she's on TV. She's been on TV the last 2 weeks, so I'll take it. I guess I'd like to see more. Just show me what you got.
She was in All Japan.
Naturally, Charlotte Flair did end up going to SmackDown, which
interesting though.
Was interesting.
Interesting. I'm mixed on this one.
I am mixed too, but.
You gotta know why, though.
It kind of makes sense. You think about it, the Raw women's division was way more stacked than the SmackDown one was. You had 3 of the 4 horsewomen. So now you split them up, so now that's 2 per show. And Charlotte, you need like a star on the show, a star women's wrestler. And they didn't have one on SmackDown. As much as we like Becky Lynch, she doesn't have the draw of like a Sasha Banks or a Bayley or even a Charlotte.
Yeah, she kind of like would... Like, she had, like, the 4 horsewoman kind of hype with her.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of, like, was in the group, but right on her own, she didn't really carry as much heat, I guess,
And it also makes sense, because we know they're going to continue the Sasha Banks and Bayley, like, long build to Sasha turning heel. So you can't really split them up now.
Yo, what's up, Murray?
Yo, Murray, what's up?
We're back at it. We're at it every fucking week, unless we're sick or something.
Yeah, like, well, we shouldn't say, like, we're back at it every week, because we didn't do it last week. So Charlotte going to SmackDown was a predictable yet great move, and then she became the number one contenders she became the women's number 1 contender with her victory over Naomi. So yeah,
I just feel like it's a nice change of pace, but like if you compare Charlotte to the rest of the women now, especially since that Alexis Bliss is gone. Mm-hmm. She looks she outclasses everybody. Oh, yeah. Like, even, like, when she had that match against Naomi, like, you could tell, like, she just was carrying the whole goddamn thing. Like, and Naomi is good in her own right. I'm not, like, bashing her or anything like that. But you can clearly tell, like, Charlotte was just outclassing her, like, hardcore, And it was, like... And then you got, like, Natalya. You got, who else? Like,
Tamina. Carmella.
There's one other name I'm forgetting at the moment. That forgettable, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just like compare Charlotte to the rest of them. They're such like minor league compared to her.
Right.
And this is like kind of weird. Like I guess it's good because how many times are we gonna watch her versus Sasha Banks or anything like that?
Murray says he'll be back. He'll be home in 2 weeks, and he's coming to the show. Wants to know the wrestling scoop.
Well, you know what? You better start watching on Monday and Tuesdays. So you're in.
He's gonna tune into us. We're his news source. That's what he's saying.
Oh, I got you now.
We're his scoop, man.
We're the scoop. Like ice cream. The rest of the fucking podcast out there are poop.
All right.
Fuck you, Meltzer.
Continuing on the roster overhaul, Sin Cara has been moved to SmackDown.
Yeah, let's get into this quickly.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Don't
care. I don't understand. Didn't they make a big deal of him announcing he was going to be in the Cruiserweight division, and then he was in one match, and now he's back on SmackDown. Back to being a jobber on SmackDown, I guess. And I guess maybe Kalisto and Sin Cara actually just don't like each other because they just continually put him on separate shows. The former, what were they called? The Lucha Dragons. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was a thing.
Another one that was, this was a good move, is Rusev goes to SmackDown.
Oh, he needed this so fucking badly,
yeah,
dude.
Oh my He's still
God.
out with an injury, so...
He needed this fucking badly.
From what I remember, I think he's going to be out for a while, but this is going to be good for him. He was always like... I think we actually talked about that last week. We're like, you said that he would go to SmackDown because it just...
He needed to shake up.
He definitely needed a change of scenery. I don't know what they're going to do when he comes back. I guess he'll just take over being the
foreign heel or whatever.
Yeah, but at the same time, we'll talk about that guy later. But
yeah, let's save the best for last, shall we?
Now, interesting. Lana also went to SmackDown, but she was drafted separately. And they kind of teased her with this stripper / weird gimmick where she's.
I missed that.
Oh yeah, she's basically like a chair stripper dancer thing, they just yeah,
intriguing.
They touted it for 2 weeks, and I mean she is she's an attractive woman, so it makes sense that for once instead of her wearing her stupid Russian get-up thing,
my jeans get stiff. I don't know why though, but they do.
God damn it, Fred! I thought your aunt was watching.
Not anymore.
Okay,
so now it could be
now it could be gay.
Cock.
All right. So
pussy.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if she's. Huh? I still don't know if she's going to be wrestling. That's what I don't know.
No, she's not going to be wrestling,
dude.
So
what's the point? Then?
Why would you have Lana on Raw by herself?
What's she going to do?
They're his manager.
No, he's not. She's not.
How do you know that?
She's going to have her own gimmick. They're already... I just said that. They're already telling her own gimmick. She's got her own gimmick.
That's so stupid.
It's not like Miz and Maurice when they announced they went to Raw together. So Lana's got her own thing. And
I don't know.
The only other big move was SmackDown got the New Day, all 3 members of the New Day, but they haven't appeared on SmackDown yet. This makes sense because they kind of killed them on Raw with giving that year and a half title reign that they had.
Is Kofi really injured? Or
Kofi is a
gimmick.
Yeah, no, he had ankle surgery, I think.
Oh, okay, so wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna be out.
They hurt the Revival, and then the Revival got hurt. So it's like they both kind of got fucked over in a way.
Yeah, I heard that they're gonna just not put him on TV until he's healed. So I don't know how long. It's probably not a long injury. It's probably only 3 or 4 weeks or something.
I wonder who they're gonna feud with because you have American. Now at this point you have American Alpha.
The New Day.
The New Day. You have
the Colognes.
The Colons. You have. I feel like I'm totally forgetting something.
The Ascension are still
there.
The
Ascension, I guess.
The Usos, the tag champions.
The Usos. All right, so maybe a nice Usos
New Day feud. That makes
New
sense.
Day feud.
That
if they're going to go with American Alpha and the Colons, that'll be. I guess that'll be it.
Yeah. The only other move that we haven't talked about yet, man, has been
the biggest move.
Yeah.
Gigantic.
Yeah. Jinder Mahal went
phenomenal
to SmackDown even before the show started. It was they announced it on the website. Now you'd say, okay, who gives a fuck? He injured Finn Balor 2 weeks ago on Raw. He fucking elbowed him in the face and gave him a concussion. So.
I know. What the fuck? He just came back.
Let's throw him in a 6-way #1 contenders match with who was in this? It was Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Sami Zayn,
Dolph Ziggler, I believe.
Jinder Mahal,
obviously, and someone we don't give a fuck about. Maybe Tamina. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but so you got a stacked. Did you say Luke Harper?
I did.
Okay. So you have a stacked lineup there. You're thinking, wow, maybe Sami Zayn will pull the upset, or maybe Luke Harper finally gets his fucking, gets that number one contendership against, they had like a little feud between Randy Orton and him. Maybe it'll lead to something like a good match. We're going to scrap all that, and we're going to put it towards the most boring fucking wrestler there is in the fucking history of WWE at the moment.
Jinder Mahal is the number one contender for the WWE title.
I would take the gobbledygooker at this point.
Jinder Mahal, a.k.a. the guy who was in 3MB way back when and was the worst member of 3MB.
Yes.
Which was a terrible faction.
Yes.
Never accomplished anything.
Yes.
Literally the least talented.
And the least memorable.
Yeah.
Came back a few months ago. Totally looked insanely different. Craig, I don't know if you realize this, but he may be on steroids.
I think he might be. I think you might be onto something.
Because I know that like those little lines like in his chest and his bicep and his cock and his fucking abs or whatever, those aren't tattoos. Those aren't like tattoos. Those are veins.
Yeah.
And people don't normally have veins on their fucking abs or whatever he's fucking doing. So I would stay away from urine tests for a little while, Jinder. I'm going to give you that little piece of advice. Just stay away from any pisses and toilets.
It was funny when I read before SmackDown went live that day. I was like, I could see him like becoming like a better character on SmackDown. SmackDown's the land of opportunity. I just didn't think it was gonna be like boom right off the bat. And he got help from the Bollywood boys.
The Bollywood boys
get the win. So they're starting like an Indian faction now? Is that what they're fucking doing? Okay.
Yeah.
And I heard the reason. Did you hear about the reason why they did this?
No.
Because apparently in India, they don't have like a great they're focusing on
fan base?
Basically they have a fan base in India, but it's not as big as it could be because wrestling is huge in India apparently. So they're trying to build up an Indian star. So they're gonna make Jinder Mahal an Indian star with this Indian faction with the Bollywood boys. Do you have
to take over every fucking country, WWE? Do you have to take over every country? Like, can't you just have the United States and fucking England or whatever? Or is that really? Do we need India? I mean, I know there's like a gazillion fucking people that live there, but I'm sure we can live without India. No offense to you all Indians out there.
Yeah, but we lost one of our 13 followers. It's just I don't even care that they gave somebody new. I'm glad they gave somebody new a push to the top.
That's fine.
Why couldn't it be?
Fine.
Why couldn't it be Luke Harper? Why couldn't it be Luke Harper? Because he's not a heel anymore. Because he's kind of like almost a face. I'd give it to fucking Eric Rowan. At least he's been in semi-important matches in the recent history. Give it to Dolph Ziggler. He just turned heel a couple months ago. He could use the fucking main event rub.
Definitely.
Why?
Even Rusev, I'll fucking take.
Well, he's hurt, but
I know what you mean, but maybe down the line. But this guy, and I watched the segment where I didn't watch the whole fucking battle royal because I knew what happened already. I already read the results. But, he cut a promo afterwards. Everyone was booing the shit out of him. He's like, what, you don't like me because I'm rich or blah, blah, blah. We're like, no, because you're fucking boring as shit. That's why we don't like you and we're booing the fuck out of you.
And this is why the payback is so fucking terrible because then Randy Orton comes out.
Yeah, right.
Who's the champion. Odd. And he comes out and he goes well, I'm going to RKO you and you're going to lose. And then he starts talking about Bray Wyatt. And, then Bray Wyatt appears on the screen. I'm like, but he's on Raw. And I'm like...
And then Jinder just is gone.
Jinder's just like, should I go?
Should I go? I really don't want to.
It's kind of awkward. Should I go? This is so
not really feeling the eater of worlds.
Poorly planned on WWE's part.
It's such an odd...
Why did they have to do this number one contendership match now when there's already a number one contender? They never do that. They never do that. There is a number one contender. He's fighting for the title at Payback. why did they have a number one contender match? That's literally
so odd. You could have waited like a week
Right.
or two for this to happen.
the pay-per-view is next weekend. Why didn't they wait 2 weeks? I would have been a little bit more okay with it, but this was so weird. And
I still win those.
And the pay-per-view, well, yeah, you're right. But, like, it would have made a little more sense. Then the timing is so strange.
So
like,
bad.
Why'd they rush to, like, have this number one contenders match? And then, meanwhile, the week before, they had a triple threat number one contenders match for the United States title, which AJ Styles took on Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles won. Now, why that? What is AJ Styles like kicking himself right now? Like, man, I should have just waited a fucking week. Like,
I got too antsy. I wanted a title.
Like, so like he won. So like the best wrestler on the show.
This is January.
Had to wrestle a number one contenders match for the fucking U.S. title against Baron Corbin, who should be in a main event level thing, and Sami Zayn, who's like a tweener. And then the 6-man match is like 6 guys who like you're like maybe Ziggler kind of belongs there, maybe Harper, but everybody else are like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, then Harper.
world title. It's the world title.
It's just like Harper.
Baron Corbin and AJ Styles were the United States title number one contenders match, but not the world title match. It doesn't make sense.
It's like this like weird limbo, like almost like lost alternate storyline,
Right,
where like all these matches are happening at Payback, but then like there's other shit going on that like clearly should be happening. Like Jinder Mahal's number one contender, but he's not fighting at the pay-per-view against Randy Orton.
It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's just fucking weird,
It's
man.
so bad.
Jericho is facing Owens, but then AJ Styles is the number one contender. It's like fucking odd, man.
It's very strange, man.
I mean, I'll take
very
honestly.
strange.
I know, like, you know, if it was just exclusively Raw people, you know, we'd be bitching about this because we're like, it's only been 2 weeks and they have like fucking 7 matches set up and there's no build.
Yeah.
But at least there's some build to this stuff, so like, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I guess.
I mean, it's a little bit of an odd situation, but like, I guess they gotta clear the shit before they move on to new shit.
It still doesn't make sense. Like, why? Okay, you have 3 of the best wrestlers. It just doesn't make sense to me. 3 of the best wrestlers wrestling for the number one contendership for the U.S. title.
Right.
And then the next
and they've
week...
been there. Well, except for Sami Zayn.
And then next week you have 6 guys who aren't even at that level, minus Sami Zayn, who was in both matches. And then that's for the world title. Like, what alternate universe am I in? That's the triple threat match should have been the number one contender for the world title, and the other one should have like Jinder Mahal should be contending for the United States title. Why is it? What happened? Were they drunk? Like, did they do some like Los Generales right before
they do some Montezumas? But I did, and I still wouldn't have booked that shit.
It just doesn't make sense. It's so stupid. So SmackDown's off to a very bad start with like their booking since the thing. I'm starting to think maybe Raw's gonna be the better show. What else has happened in the last couple of weeks?
Let's talk about
well,
no. Should we talk about Braun at this point?
Yeah.
Where are we on the podcast?
Yeah, let's talk.
I don't want to like go too overboard.
I think we're at like 40 minutes. Boom! Right at 40 minutes.
Oh shit, son. So he's got that on lockdown. This episode is brought to you by Montezuma.
If you want to have Montezuma's revenge, have Montezuma's.
Quick jabs. Fred's bowel movement the next day.
It's just audio of him taking a shit.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go into it.
Yeah, alright. So 2 weeks ago...
Can we talk about how awesome Braun Strowman is?
Oh my god. This was... 2 weeks ago's Raw was the best Braun Strowman moment in the history of Braun Strowman. Okay?
I thought it couldn't get better, but it did.
Roman Reigns is getting interviewed backstage, and then Braun just goes like, roar! And he just comes and beats the shit out of him, like throws him over this fucking barricade thing, and he goes through a table, and his head hits the table, and it looks really bad. And then, like, 2 minutes, and then they leave, and he's like, and then, like, people are attending to him, he's like, Roman, you okay? Okay, so you think it's over. And then, so they come later in the show. They come back to him, and like they're attending to him backstage. And then like I think he like power bombs him on like this big like mat thing, like this big suitcase like that holds speakers or something like that.
Oh, like one of those like roadie things.
Yeah, like he picks slams him down onto it, and everyone's like the crowd. It was in Nassau. It's in our neck of the woods.
So the first show back in like a couple of years.
Yeah, and people in New York have this tendency to be.
Who the fuck is Chrisley?
Yeah,
we haven't said that. We haven't said that in a while. Sorry about that.
It's okay. So Braun beats him up some more. And then he leaves again, and then he comes back a third time. They're laying him on they're laying Roman Reigns on a stretcher at this point. He goes like, "I'm not done with you yet," and I'm fucking dying because the crowd's like, "Yeah!"
They're going ballistic.
It was amazing.
It was awesome.
And he starts rolling him down the alleyway, and he just throws him off a ramp. And the thing flips over, and Roman Reigns is like crushed and crippled underneath it. Of course, he wasn't actually in the damn thing, because if you saw it, when they
he would have been really bad.
He would have died.
That would have been like when Big Show. Remember when Rey Mysterio was strapped onto that stretcher? And he could have access to his arms. And Big Show fucking baseball swinged him against the ring post. And he fell on his head.
Dude, stupid. It was very clearly doctored, because when he fell, the shopping cart went front, head over heels, and then to the left. And then when it went to commercial, they came back from commercial, it was facing the camera, like on its side, the complete other direction. I'm like, alright, well that was definitely fake. And Roman Reigns is
obviously
dead. Alright, and everyone's like, alright, that was a lot of fun. That was fun. That was good, guys.
Braun has been the best fucking...
But it wasn't done yet!
Oh, we got more.
They put him in the fucking... They start loading him into a fucking ambulance. and he's in
I'm not done with you yet!
He's not done with you yet! The crowd's going crazy now!
You're not done with him yet? You really murdered him!
The crowd is going insane now! The crowd's like, yes! And he's just fucking hitting him inside of the fucking thing, and he gets out of it, and he fucking flips the goddamn ambulance over, and the crowd is fucking going crazy. It was amazing. It was amazing.
God, I love Braun Strowman, man.
So
he has been the biggest surprise of 2016/17.
Yes, he has. Man.
Like, this guy, when we saw him in the Wyatt family, we're like, this guy sucks dick. And all of a sudden he goes on his own. We're like, oh man, this is gonna suck.
We're gonna be having all these squash matches.
Oh man, did this
Remember
guy
when we were complaining about the squash matches every week?
Yeah,
it was the same thing every week. Oh my god.
Yeah,
for like 7 weeks.
Oh my god, this guy has really turned me over, because usually I hate fucking monsters like a Big Show or a Kane or something.
Me too.
This guy like takes it to another level.
Yeah, he's really good.
I
love his voice.
So intense.
I love his voice. I love I can only imagine like being like his girlfriend or something. Like they'd be like
bend over,
honey, what do you want for dinner?
Steak.
This is everything about
it. Steak.
I don't know, ever doing the
his music plays every time he says something. Will you marry me? I do.
I really like Braun Strowman lately.
I've loved him since Christmas.
Roman Reigns is playing up this like injury now with broken ribs.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, he had to. They had him write him off TV.
They just destroyed him. You know?
I don't even think Roman was on Raw this past week.
He wasn't
selling the injuries. But they already announced that they're going to be fighting each other at Payback.
Obviously, Roman's going to win. But...
Yeah, Roman's definitely going to win, but at least it's been a fun ride until we get there.
Yeah, fuck you for beating The Undertaker. That's what you get.
And then this past week on Raw, Braun, again, was just beating up people backstage. He took out Golden Truth. He threw Goldust through a fence. I was like, holy shit! Goldust is probably like, why am I still doing this shit?
I'm like 50 years old,
I'm like 50 years old. Like, is it really where... He spent all that day painting his face just to get beat up by Braun Strowman.
Yeah, like
2 seconds.
Like, put a little, maybe like, just do like the baseball. Like, that's all you gotta do. Put a little.
And then later, he was just like dragging Kalisto around by like his arm. And he was like, somebody walked up to him and he was like...
He's like, I'm glad it's not me anymore. This used to be me.
And then Big Show kind of attacked him backstage and said, why don't you pick on somebody your own size? So then they had a match on Raw.
Yeah.
It was actually a pretty good match for
two big
for a
men.
Big Show match. You can't say that very often.
Yeah.
And then they did the cool spot where the fucking ring collapses. So that was fucking great. The crowd loved it.
Oh my god! The highlight of that spot was
the
the ref
ref.
fucking flew out of the ring.
He was holding onto the rope. Why was he holding onto the rope? He knew the spot was coming.
So much.
I watched that like 4 times. It was so fucking fun.
The fucking Mike Kyoto, whatever his fucking name is, like, is it boring? It's like a fucking cartoon.
Right.
Oh my god.
See,
Braun has been the best surprise.
When Brock
of this.
Lesnar and Big Show did it like back in SmackDown in like 2003 or whenever that was.
I mean, that was cool as fuck.
Like whoever the referee was for that, like he just fell down and he kind of like looked around and the crowd was going crazy. That was like a great visual of the referee kind of like, oh my god,
what the fuck just happened?
But this referee was so fucking funny because he was holding onto the ropes and then the ropes give out and he was just like, whoop, he flipped out of the ring.
I think he did it by accident.
I definitely think because he was holding onto the ropes. Why would you hold onto the ropes knowing they were gonna fall down?
Stay on the ground, you idiot. Like I would have known
amazing. That. It was fucking amazing. It was a good spot. I kind of feel like they overdo it though because this is like the 3rd time they've done the ring breaks with Big Show match.
I thought this was the second. Was there another time?
I think they might have done it with Mark Henry and Big Show once too. Like when they were doing like the Hall of Pain thing. It was like when
maybe
SmackDown when nobody watched SmackDown. It's like back in 2011. I want to say maybe I could be completely wrong, but like
who knows. But it's still fun to see. It
is still fun to see.
They can do it every week, and I'll still fucking pop for it.
The crowd went crazy. I didn't know what happened until like I saw it on social media. I was like, God damn it! I wish I watched that live because I would have marked out probably. I would have been like, oh
yeah,
shit.
I know. Oh man, that was fucking awesome, man.
That was a great spot.
Braun Strowman. If we could be like most surprising favorite of the year.
Yeah, right?
It's gotta be Braun, man.
Yeah.
At this juncture.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it has to be, man. This guy is like, I should hate this guy because I hate big wrestlers. You know, we had that 2002 to 2004 era. Luther Reigns, Matt Morgan, fucking
God.
Gene Snitsky. I'm fucking, like, blubbering these names after the 4th shot of tequila. But this guy just takes it to a new fucking level of fucking insanity.
He's a good worker. I got to give him credit. He can move. He's
really proved himself.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give it to him, man.
Yeah, I got to give it to him. What else is going on in the Raw landscape? They announced Rollins and Samoa Joe will have a match at Payback as well. That makes sense.
That totally makes sense, of course.
It's kind of weird that the feud is like continuing. Because this was supposed to be the match that took place before WrestleMania, but then Rollins got hurt. It was supposed to be the lead up to the Triple H match for Seth Rollins, but now it's happening after the Triple H match, so it kind of feels like less important almost.
It seems a little like little too late.
Yeah, a little too late, and Samoa Joe and Jericho had a very good match on Raw to open Raw this past week, which was good. Yeah, and Joe won as he should. He should be going over people now.
Yeah, but it's weird because like Jericho's so over, And
Jericho is very over.
And Samoa Joe is over in his own right.
But Jericho's like stuck in this limbo now because he's feuding with Kevin Owens and he's not on the same show as him, so they can't even fucking interact with each other anymore.
That's true.
So it makes sense that he's just going to job out until that fucking program is over.
Yeah, that's true. But he's still like the most over guy on Raw.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would agree. Maybe the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, well, all right, yeah.
Let's talk about the Hardy Boys. Cesaro and Sheamus won the number 1 contender match, 2 weeks ago against the Club.
The Club, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to fight the Hardy Boys at Payback for the Raw Tag titles, which will be a great match. Cesaro and Jeff Hardy had a good singles match this past week on Raw.
Yeah, I'm fucking happy for the Hardy Boys.
I actually have some rumors to talk about with the Hardys. So,
oh, yeah?
They, everybody knows about the broken gimmick, which is what basically got them their jobs back. And, people aren't sure.
Fucking drugs.
Right, but, they came back to WWE and they're just being the Hardy Boys again. They're not really doing it. Matt's still doing the delete thing every once in a while, but they're not saying it. He's not cutting the promos weird, but he's still acting weird.
Subtly doing
things. He's smiling, way over smiling because it's that's the point of the gimmick to be really corny and so
I saw the backstage segment where they're had being interviewed.
Yeah.
And then first he was talking normal, then he kind of the last sentence he said it in a slightly broken Matt voice, and I'm like, they're definitely subtly trying to get this gimmick.
Well, I heard
back.
So the problem with this is TNA is
has the rights
claiming the rights to the gimmick. But WWE is negotiating with them to get basically they're going to pay them off to just take take the gimmick and let
TNA
it go.
should do.
TNA should
fucking
do
need
it.
the money.
They need the fucking money.
Fucking losers.
So it makes sense because eventually they're going to lose the tag titles, and that's when this should start. That's when they should do the broken gimmick. Like he should be broken over losing the titles. So
yes.
And there's been rumors that they want to push Jeff Hardy as a single star again, and then Matt Hardy can do his broken gimmick on his own, or they could feud against each other, depending on what...
Yeah, because I don't want to see a regular Matt Hardy.
Right, regular Matt Hardy is not cool
anymore. It's not cool anymore.
Like, Jeff Hardy by himself can work, you know, whether he's
brother... He'll be over either way.
Whether he's brother Nero or he's just Jeff Hardy, it'll work. Matt Hardy has to be broken Matt Hardy to work. In a singles thing, he's not going back to version 1 anymore. His
character's so good that it would be such a shame not to get it, you know.
Yeah.
And at this point, TNA's like barely like hanging on by a fucking thread, so like they might as well just take it.
I'm still amazed that they're on TV at this point.
I am too.
Although I don't.
Even my mom fucking knew that they were like fucking loser company.
Oh yeah.
Because like one time I was at my parents' house and I put it on. It was just like searching through the channels. I'm like, oh, let me see what match is on. And she's like, oh, this is like a little rinky-dink company. And like she had no idea who the fuck it was. And I'm like, oh god, that's bad. My mom doesn't fucking know anything about wrestling except for like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. And she's saying this is a low company. That's bad, people.
Yeah. You know when a non-wrestling fan can tell it's
shit.
Cheap shit, then it's probably cheap shit. It's just shit.
It's shite.
So, I'm looking forward to what happens with the Hardys, because like right now the Hardy Boys are working as it is, but eventually
it's gonna die down.
The luster will die down. It happens with everybody who comes back.
Right, of course.
So it'll be a perfect way to split them up. They can feud with each other. They can go their separate ways. It doesn't really matter because the gimmick works that way. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's a potential of a Matt Hardy like Bray Wyatt feud now that Bray Wyatt's on Raw.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And they had some beef on Twitter like when Matt was still in TNA. So
it's actually a pretty good idea if they do the broken Matt gimmick. It'd be like because he could be on the same level as Bray, in a sense, like they're both odd people. So that's kind of cool, actually.
Yes. What are we looking at? We're at about an hour here. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a slow 2 weeks, I guess. Sort of, Shinsuke Nakamura wasn't on SmackDown this week.
Yeah, why?
But it looks like they're kind of teasing a mini feud against Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
Ziggler seems to be his first feud, which makes sense. That's good.
Yeah, which is a good feud. I'll go with it.
Established guy, a heel to put over Shinsuke.
Yeah,
his first main roster program, so that works.
Dolph will fucking go all out for that.
So, he'll bump like crazy for all those fucking kicks that he's going to take. That'll be great.
Yeah,
it'll be a great match. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, so we're pretty much just leading into the road to the road. Anyway, the payback and
which is next weekend. So next weekend we'll do our predictions. I'm sure they might announce another couple of matches here and there. I don't really know. They have all the titles already on the line, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
maybe they'll just throw another SmackDown match on there because who the fuck cares, right?
Right, exactly.
Did we talk about all the matches? Yeah, we did. There's also Neville and Austin Aries. It's just that
I don't
program.
Really care.
I do because
I like that TJ Perkins is heel now.
Yeah, that was cool. That was kind of unexpected too. Because his gimmick just he looks like a face. He doesn't look like a heel. Like he's just clean cut. He's got spike hair. I feel like kids would like him. He's got that video game theme song. I feel like kids would just like him. So I was very surprised they turned him heel.
Yeah.
Instead of a Rich Swann or somebody.
I'm still surprised they turned Neville heel, honestly. As
Neville,
much as he's been great.
Neville's been so
I'm
good.
still actually surprised that he's heel and champion and doing great.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been a big surprise and a good
been so
move.
good. And Austin Aries it's surprising that, and then that Austin Aries is the face in this one.
Yeah.
And because he's just a natural heel. He's such a douchebag.
I know he is.
But he's a likable douchebag when he's playing this character. So it is very interesting. The Cruiserweight division has stabilized lately with these two guys on the top of the card. Yeah. And you have Jack Gallagher, who has his great matches, and people like his gimmick.
And now you'll have Kalisto back in the mix.
Kalisto will be back in the mix.
So that'll be some good matches right there.
Yeah, I guess the Bollywood boys are off of the
Oh, division. Shucks.
Oh, no. Yeah, so the Cruiserweight division...
What about Noam Dar? And Alicia Fox.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's still... I don't watch 205 Live because we don't watch 205 Live. Doesn't just roll off the tongue like the other one did.
Whack. Yeah, I miss Whacktown.
I miss Whacktown.
Yeah, we have to watch it now.
Yeah.
It's so random, but they had the backstage skits with segments with Natalia. And, like, how they, Charlotte just asked for a title match and Shane McMahon just gave it to her. And she kind of, like, was like, well, he's like, well, you could have asked, too, and stuff like that. I would have gave it to you. Like, really?
Yeah.
Is that what you just have to do, is just ask?
That's kind of what Natalia
Can I have a
said,
title match? Like,
that's what Natalia said, too. She's like, really? That's all I had to do? Like, fuck.
That seemed, like, so odd.
It was so weird, too,
because... It's
because...
like a fourth wall, like, breaking the fourth wall of wrestling. Like, all I had to do was ask instead of, like, beating
weird.
up somebody backstage. Like, I could just ask for the match.
And then Natalia, was, pissed, and Carmella was pissed, and Tamina was pissed, and they're like, let's... Yeah,
Tamina should be pissed. She hasn't been on television.
And then they were like... and then, they're like, let's teach her a lesson or something. And, they, formed, a mini faction on the show.
Yeah, so
And then they didn't do anything. On the way to the ring...
They tried to do something to Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte was, on her way to the ring after, to face Naomi, and if she won, she would become the number one contender. And then they just confronted her backstage, and she's just like, okay, and she just went out, won the match, and she came back and looked at them, kind of like, I'm good, and that was it. And I was like, what was the point of that? What was the point of them getting together?
I don't know.
I think maybe
Natalia looks so bad, by the way.
Yeah, Natalia is.
Oh my god, she gets worse and worse every week.
God, I can't stand looking at her.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I shouldn't care about that's something I shouldn't care about, but I just can't stand the sight of her.
Yeah, I was going to go a little tiny mini rant, which kind of led into this whole Charlotte. We just talked about Charlotte and Naomi having a match for the number one contendership. I fucking hate when a number one contendership match is determined by whether or not you beat the champion.
You don't like that?
I hate that, dude. Because it's like you're giving the match away already. Except, I just think it's so fucking lame. You should have two people.
Yeah, you're right. It does give the match
if you're
away.
the champion, you should, in a sense where if you're going by, sports or whatever, you should have the number one contender, let's say, technically, and the number two person, right? And they should battle it out to fight the champion. That makes sense. You shouldn't beat the champion.
Yeah.
It just diminishes that person. Right? I mean, I don't know.
I agree,
I
but
feel like it's...
This is Charlotte. You know what I mean? She's...
I know that.
She's head and shoulders above, everyone else on the SmackDown Live roster.
Including Naomi.
In this instance, I'm okay with it. For the most part, I don't actually hate that. I'm actually going to disagree with you on that one.
Maybe not... Okay, maybe not for this match, but you got to admit that they do that a lot.
They do that a lot.
And I just feel like it just diminishes...
I said
because you're going to have this... You're going to have the pay-per-view match... What?
No, man. I said doo-doo.
Craig has to take a shit. No, but it's just it happens a lot.
It does happen a lot.
And it just diminishes the point of the pay-per-view match.
That's kind of like a boxing thing, though, because back in the day, when a boxing guy, he wouldn't just defend the title against two guys having they didn't have number one contenders matches. It would be like Joe Frazier in a non-title match would lose to this guy. And then then the next month they're like, well, the guy beat him. So now let's make it a title match next month. So I think that's the idea here. It's an old school the champion lost, so we should give the person he lost to a chance. It's an old school thing. I kind of like it in some instances. Some instances I don't. This one I like.
But it's so predictable, though.
It is. It's
That's
very
the problem
predictable.
with it, though.
It is predictable. But I mean, who else was going to win? If Charlotte?
No, I get
if
it.
Charlotte faced anybody else on the roster, it would have been predictable too. Because it's Charlotte.
No, I get that. Maybe I'm just taking it because we just started talking about it. But it's they do it all the time.
I think maybe that's why they did that thing where Natalia had that mini group together. Maybe you thought maybe they'll fuck her over so she doesn't get that title opportunity. So maybe that's why they threw that in there. And then they scrapped it. Well, maybe they wanted to throw in the doubt that maybe they'd do something to make it less predictable. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not talking about this one instance. I just think it's a little. Sometimes it's a little.
No, you're right. They do it.
But they do it a lot.
They do it. They do it.
They do it. No, I can see if once in every so often the champion does beat that challenger and they don't get the rematch. I mean, they don't get the actual match at the pay per view.
Right.
But you just know every fucking week, when they do it, they're gonna fucking.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
You're
so
right.
It just seems like such a waste of it.
There is a good way that they have done it in the past.
Shouldn't be beat all the time.
Right.
They
have done. There is a better way of doing it that they have done in the past, which I like. Is just the champion is wrestling somebody in a non-title match. But they don't announce that, like, if they win, that they're going to do it.
Okay.
But then, like, you'll hear the announcer say subtly something like, "Oh, if Charlotte were to win this match, you could see her becoming a contender for the title."
Of course.
Like, that's a good way that they usually do it. But in some instances they do this, and you're right. It does make it a little more.
It's like a quick example is like Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor the first time. Then they got then they had the second match because it was going to happen. Like, this guy randomly beat Conor McGregor. You're like, oh shit, he should be fighting him again, and and stuff. So that made sense. Like, if they don't announce it beforehand, I'm okay with it. But when they announce it, you just see the writing on the wall. Yeah, it just takes the luster out of it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Mini rant.
It's okay.
It's alright.
I think that's gonna wrap it up for us.
Yeah,
I don't really have a lot much more to talk about.
Not too much going on.
I thought we would have more to talk about, honestly, but we covered everything, really.
The last 2 weeks have been kind of a down period.
Yeah, I mean,
ever since the shakeup, I think once Payback is over,
Payback has to
then
end.
Things will start moving forward.
Yeah, because this roster clusterfuck that they created just really made everything really confusing. Like, feuds are starting while other ones are already taking place. Like, it's very weird. It's very weird. Like, and they're already teasing Kevin Owens is going to feud with AJ Styles because he stayed on the commentary for the AJ Styles match, right?
Yeah, and then he got bumped by AJ Styles.
So not only is Kevin Owens already moving on to his next feud while he's still feuding with Chris Jericho, but we have Randy Orton moving on to his next feud with Jinder Mahal while he's still feuding with Bray Wyatt.
Exactly.
Like, it's just really fucking poor booking in WWE. They should probably think this out, but this is the WWE. They don't think anything out, and that's why this is the Wretched Wrestling Podcast. WWP, episode 43. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Anyone tuning in on our live feed, thanks Mike Murray. Thanks Jen for making fun of us for 5 seconds.
Thank you, Ant.
Yeah. If you guys aren't following us on Twitter, we're at Wretched Wrestle. You can like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Wretched Wrestling. We are also on iTunes. By the way, apparently iTunes is now called Apple Podcasts.
Really?
I just got an email about that the other day. So we're on Apple Podcasts. It doesn't ring off the bell like iTunes. Google Play and Podomatic.
Weird.
You can check out the live feed, which we just posted on Facebook.
That'll go to YouTube.
It'll be posted, and now Fred's going to be back on that shit now. Fred's going to be going back to that shit. So check out our YouTube page, subscribe to us, just search Wretched Wrestling. Please subscribe to us, because we can get our own domain if you subscribe to us.
Exactly, and then we'll go into YouTube Live, and
we'll do some YouTube Live, maybe do some periscoping, all that shit. Yeah. Fred's like, I got a periscope in my pants.
What does that mean?
It's Periscope.
I just have an iTunes. I just have an iTunes strapped to my fucking.
No, I meant like a physical Periscope. Like a fucking in a submarine.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a shit sign on that one.
That's not working. Oh, there we go. I think the battery's dying. I've run it out because of your shit.
What? Huh?
All right, guys. That's gonna wrap it up here on the 43rd episode of the Wretched Wrestling Podcast. We will be back next week.
The 41st.
What? Is that a word? 41st. We'll be back next week with our Payback preview, and we'll have our predictions, which I think we pretty much covered on this week, but we'll just do it again. Why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not?
All right, guys.
No one's listening anyway.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
All right, I'm just going to hit stop this time.
Are you really going to push stop?
I am going to actually do it.
Okay.
Okay?
I hope you do, because I don't want to say anything weird and shit. So.
You insinuating I shouldn't push it? Like, oops, I missed.
No, I'm just saying, if you, slip by accident, that, I wouldn't, say anything really weird and incriminating.
The only people who make slip-ups on the show is when you start talking about your sexuality.
Well, no, I wouldn't call them slip-ups. I would call them, just word confusions.
You sound like Ricky. My brain's all conjobulated and stuff.
Yo, Ricky, what are those words in that sentence that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
I need some jalapeno peppers.
What do you mean getting stains out of khaki pants? It's khaki, Ricky. It's a color. This is fucked up. Yeah, sometimes things get like screwed up in my head. I don't mean to do that, you know. Like when I'm talking about wrestling, I just get very passionate about it. Like certain wrestlers, I get very passionate about.
Yeah,
you know, like I notice little things about them. You know, like the little nuances about them. So like sometimes I get a little too much deep into it. You know, like like AJ Styles, right? Take for example, phenomenal wrestler, but then I have to look past that a little bit to be an analyst here at this podcast.
Okay.
So I'm looking at his biceps, I'm looking at his chest, I'm looking at his abs, and I'm seeing to myself, like, yeah, he's got a good body too. So, like, of course that's phenomenal also. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this.
Fred broke the fourth wall.
Fuck!
Alright, guys. We'll see you next time. Fuck off.
I'm going to show you my nothing. Okay.
Peace out.
Bitches.
Oh my god, that was a good one.